Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Broke to Wealth, the podcast where we keep it real. How to break down this broken system, the system that keeps people broke. I'm here to teach you how to start building wealth from scratch. I'm your host, Doc, and today we're diving into a topic that hits home for a lot of people. How do you invest when you've only got $100 to start? Because let's be real, $100 doesn't sound like much in the investing world. You hear about people trading six figures or buying properties or throwing around 1,000 racks like it's nothing. But for most of us, the first $100 is a big deal. It might feel like pocket change to some, but it's actually the foundation of everything that comes after. I hear this naive saying about not helping the less fortunate. Quote, folks got to learn to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. My question to those people is, how do you do that when you don't even have boots to begin with? They don't sell boots at the dollar store. So let's just cut the BS, sit back, and take a load off the shoulders. And let's talk about how that single $100 bill can be your first brick in the road to financial freedom. Here's the truth. If you can learn to invest $100, you can invest $1,000. And if you can invest $1,000, you can invest $10,000. It's not about the amount, it's about the habit. It's about building the muscle of investing, just like going to the gym. If you can show up with $100 and put it to work, you're already 10 steps ahead of the person who says, I'll wait until I have more money. And we know the sad fact is that they usually never start. Let me give you a quick story. When someone sat down with me and taught me about investing, I was just so frustrated with myself. I thought I needed thousands to even play the game and that it was just gambling in the casino in the end. I sat on the sidelines over the years, just running in circles with money tucked into a checking and savings account. It pains me to think that if I just started with my first $100 years earlier, I'd be way farther ahead. So don't underestimate the small beginnings. $100 is not just money. It's momentum. So let's get tactical. You've got $100. What do you actually do with it? I like to think of this as a little blueprint. Here are three main routes. Number one, fractional shares in the stock market. Now look, thanks to apps like Robinhood or Fidelity or Schwab, you don't need to buy a whole share of something like Apple or Nvidia. You can invest $10, $25, or whatever amount you got. Now, imagine buying $50 worth of an S&P 500 index fund, basically a slice of the 500 biggest companies in America, and then throw another $50 into a company you personally believe in, like Apple or Nvidia. That's diversification and personal conviction. Number two, ETFs and index funds. As I mentioned, these are baskets of stocks. Instead of betting on one company, you're betting on the whole team. So, for example, I mentioned the S&P 500 index fund, SPY or VOO, right? $100 can buy you a piece of the entire market. Think of it like food, right? You could buy a single entree or you can pay for the whole buffet. All right, number three, yourself. All right, now here's the wild card. Sometimes the best $100 investment isn't in the market, it's in you. A book, an online course, a skill that makes you more valuable. If that $100 makes you $1,000 in the future, that's the best return you'll ever get. Okay, so let's turn this into a step-by-step guide so you know exactly what to do after this episode. Now, if you need to pause or to grab a pen or open the Notes app, this is the time. All right, number one is open the account. All right, so again, pick a beginner-friendly brokerage app. Robinhood, Fidelity, Schwab, Vanguard, all solid choices. Second, decide on your split. Maybe $80 into the ETF like VOO or SPY, and then $20 into a company you love. Number 3, set up auto invest. This is the real cheat code. Even if it's just $10 a week, automation makes sure that you keep building. Right? It's going to keep that momentum going. Number 4, leave it alone. Do not obsess over the daily ups and downs. Your job is to keep feeding this account, not to day trade your way to stress. And here's a golden rule: never invest money you need tomorrow. Again, on the previous episode, we talked about building up your emergency funds. This is planning the future. We are planning for your rich life now. So your $100 should be money you can let sit for years. Okay, so let's do a math game. The average stock market return over the last century is about 10% a year. Now, imagine that one time $100 deposit grows at 10% per year. In 10 years, that $100 becomes $259. In 20 years, it becomes $672. And in 30 years, that $100 you threw in is over $1,700. Now, ready to get your mind blown? What if instead of just the one-time deposit, you actually drop $100 every month? Now, we're talking about $10,000 in just 6 years, $20,000 in 10 years, over $50,000 in 17 years. And guess what? By year 23, you break six figures with $100,000, and you break $200,000 by year 29. And then within 38 years, you break $500,000, and you actually hit $1 million by year 45, all with investing only $100 a month. That's the power of compounding. Small seeds, big trees. That's also why it's so important to get started as young as possible. The money balloons with time. So now let's talk about the traps that people fall into with their first $100. The biggest has got to be chasing meme stocks. I get it. I've been a victim of falling into the hype. Dogecoin, GameStop, AMC, Sava, BlackBerry, and the list goes on. I've been in all of them. It's all hype, no doubt. Fun to watch, super dangerous to play. It takes discipline to get out of the broke trenches. Remember how I shared the story on a previous episode about my mom pocketing the bus money and we just walked everywhere? That 50 cents was saved, not thrown into a slot machine. Okay, so another trap is thinking like I used to before I started, which is thinking the stock market is just a casino. Investing is not scratching a lotto card. It's getting on your hands and knees to plant a garden. Keep the weeds and pests out and watering that garden every day. Leave the gambling like option plays to those that can afford to lose. You are not someone that can afford to lose. You want to get wealthy. And the other trap is overcomplicating it. Look, you don't need a bunch of apps, a bunch of books, counts, dozens of stocks. Just keep it simple. Just start with one ETF and one company and grow that garden of yours. Remember, you're learning the game right now. Don't start throwing up three-pointers thinking that you're Steph Curry. All right, so that's it. I want to hear from you. What would you do with your first $100? Shoot me an email, og.hollywood@gmail. Tag me on After Hour, Instagram, Twitter, or drop a comment. I might even feature your response in the next episode. For those that are wanting to be part of a great community, check out my Patreon at www.patreon.com/og.hollywood. And here's a fun challenge. Take $100 this week. Open up that account and actually invest it. Don't just listen, do it. Next time you tune in, you'll already be an investor. Before we wrap up, let's zoom out. Investing your first $100 isn't about the money. It's about identity. When you invest, even with just $100, you stop being just a consumer. You stop being just someone who works for money. You become an owner. You own a piece of Apple, a slice of the S&P 500, a share of the future. And that mental shift, that's priceless. All right, Well, that's it for today's episode of Broke to Wealth. Remember, wealth is built one step, $1, one habit at a time. And if you found value in today's episode, share with a friend who's been saying they want to start investing but feel like they don't have enough. Remind them $100 is enough. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss episode 4, where we'll tackle how to build stacks on stacks with the money printer you just turned on. All right, until next time, I'm Doc, and this has been Broke to Wealth. Start broke, build wealth, live free.